Hi, it's Joe Mazumdar of Exploration Insights, and I'm at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto, the pre-PDAC edition. And with me right now is the chairman of Aurion Resources, David Lotan. David,
Joe,
how's it going?
good
Always
to
a
see you
pleasure.
again.
So, Orion Resources is in the Exploration Insights portfolio, and my investment thesis on buying it was another company that now has a billion-dollar market cap discovered a 2 gram, almost 4 million ounce deposit called Ikkari, which is very close to where Orion has a joint venture with B2 Gold. So maybe you could tell us how that feeds into what you're looking at your Helmy prospect right now.
Yeah, sure, Joe. So, well, obviously, we were delighted for Rupert to see the discovery and very happy about the fact that in places some of the drill collars were 50 meters from our property boundary. It was, however, operated by B2 Gold, so they needed to act and convert the licenses and make the decision to drill there. They did. It took really until the middle of last year, and we hit Ikkari style mineralization probably in the first 3 holes with great widths, 30 to 50 meters.
And that's really what Ikkari is. It's thick and it's continuous.
Correct.
It's not erratic, and you can put ounces together really quickly.
Very quickly. Most of the holes that are in the Ikkari resource, well, at least originally they were 80 meters spacing.
Yeah.
We've hit in, let's say, 23 of the first 26 holes now, widths of anywhere from 30 to 70 meters at 1.5 to 2 grams. And these holes are hundreds of meters apart. So it would just defy logic that this isn't going to be a continuous system with consistent grades as well.
Right. And when you get that continuity and it's not erratic, then that sort of drill spacing still works to get you a resource, even in the inferred category. Whereas when it is erratic, you need to have that spacing much tighter.
I'd agree. And I think the amazing thing about Ikkari, among many amazing qualities, is that they were able to produce a 4 million ounce resource in only 36,000 meters of drilling, only 18 months. I mean, it's the fastest turnaround I've seen. And when you contrast that to some of these Abitibi programs, which are hundreds of thousands of meters.
Oh, millions of meters on some of them.
Well, millions, yes.
Yeah.
You know, one company did drill 1 million meters one year.
Yes. We should name nameless. But yeah, you're right. And then you have to get down to like 2.5, 5 meter centers to get anything. And then when you're drilling from surface to try and find that structure that brings you that grade and that shoot, much more difficult than a thick zone of that kind of grade for an open pit, which they have around 2 grams. Granted, that's inferred, but you know, to pull something off like a 3.9 million ounce deposit in such a short period of time. And so how does Orion right now look at their valuation? How do we get the share price up with respect to not only being near Ikkari, but what else is happening in that central Lapland belt?
Yeah, well,
Finland, sorry.
Well, it's always difficult for companies to go from, you know, being their sort of a sole risk exploration sensation as we were around our Amaruska discovery, to marketing themselves as having a very valuable interest in a very valuable minority interest in a joint venture. But Orion has an enviable capital position versus many juniors that are in JVs. We've got $25 million in the bank. Yeah. So we'll be able to maintain our 30% for the foreseeable future, and that's years. And I think we have seen lots of examples of juniors monetizing minority interests for hundreds of millions of dollars. Reservoir Capital, for one, was copper, and it was a great discovery, but in Serbia, 10K mining for $1.4 billion, but in the Congo, AUEX in Nevada, in their JV with Frontier Mining, that was a $300 million takeout. So if juniors can contribute, which is the theme that's consistent with all those examples, you can get full value for your interest in a partnership. So I think that's our main focus for the moment.
And B2 Gold has been pretty good in terms of giving you the news flow, and you haven't had to wait a long time to turn around a press release.
No, we've been working pretty closely with them. We have the experience in country, and we've been able to help them get drills and basic till rigs. Maddie Talika, our CEO, staked this ground years ago, and it's a very cooperative arrangement. Also, it's in our contract that they have to report assays to us monthly as they have them. But it's not a contractual relationship. It's a very friendly relationship.
Okay, and so if somebody didn't own Orion right now, what would be the impetus to get into the stock right now, or for what sort of news flow would they see in the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, Ikkari is 4 million ounces and 600 meters of strike length, and what we've hit so far, just on the other side of the border, is in 1.5 kilometers of strike length, and we've hit in almost every hole there. So
if we look at it's sort of like an east-west strike. Your claim boundary is north-south, and you're just on the other side of their drill holes that are hitting let's say the western limit of their boundary.
Well, our boundary is both east-west and north-south. They're right in an elbow of the property. Yeah. So the mineralization seems to trend from their eastern extent of their discovery west towards our original Kuduvoma discovery, and that's a 7-kilometer boundary. Ikkari's in 600 meters of strike length. We've hit it a long trend for 1.5 kilometers on our own property. So dimensions seem similar. We don't have the same widths they have, and we haven't hit the high grades at depth yet that they've hit. But we're only 25 holes into the program.
Right, but you did hit 100-gram meter intersection
we did.
for the first time.
We started to trend up higher than 2 grams on some of these holes and with wider widths. So that's great. Rupert's worth $1 billion. If we have something similar, we have 30% of it, and we're only worth $100 million. So arithmetically, I guess you can make an argument that we're cheap. But of course, we have all this ground that runs parallel to Rupert that we own 100%, that goes for 15 kilometers, and lots of ground like this that we're assessing for targeting now.
Okay, and B2's drill program now for that trend?
So we've got 6,000, we've got about 6,000 meters left to disclose from the winter program. They took about a month off, and now they're back drilling. I think maybe we'll get another 7,000 meters out of B2 by the year end. Because Ikkari was drilled out in only 36,000 meters, it would seem likely that we'll get a lot of very good information out of what will be a total of 14,000 meters this year.
Okay. And you're obviously funded to deliver all of that.
We're funded into 2024, and that includes doing substantial work on our 100% owned ground as well.
All right. Okay. Well, that's the story for Orion right now. Central Lapland belt of Finland, well capitalized, and looking for another Ikkari style ore deposit on their property in a joint venture with B2 Gold. They have other prospects, but right now I would say that's your flagship. So thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate it. And that's me, Joe Mazumdar, editor-analyst, Exploration Insights, from the Metals Investment Forum in Toronto, pre-PDAC edition. Thank you very much for joining us.